Asian Paints numbers flashing on your screen there. Revenue at that 8,531, slightly better than what the street was expecting it to be. We're seeing the stock also slightly rising. You have your net profit also at 994 crores versus that of an estimate of around 894 crores, which is almost a more than 30% uptick in terms of where the net profit stands, and that's a very good news for sure when it comes to Asian Paints. So that suggests that the kind of top line growth that has come in, and with the net profit also growing, there has been some recovery in terms of where the value, the volume stands, because Q1 we saw volume recovery after 4 quarters taking place at that around 3% mark. Of course, this quarter was also hit by unseasonal rains as well as extended monsoons. But it seems like the overall numbers have come in positively. Even in terms of Ebitda, it came in at 1,503 versus an estimate of around 1,304. So 200 crores of beat there. Margins at 18% versus that of an expectation of 16.4%. So beat across metrics, that is your revenue, your margins, your Ebitda, as well as your net profit, and the stock's zooming in trade. Look at that chart. The sudden spike that we've seen in the counter, up 2.5%.
Mahima, what are the levers that Asian Paints could have used to bolster margins? In all probability, we'll see better than expected margins. Is it pricing or is it mix, where you have, if I'm not mistaken, decorative paints being higher is beneficial for Asian Paints?
Yeah, but decorative paints has not been picking up for them. It hasn't. So we'll have to see as to whether it's picked up this quarter. And
so what could potentially be the lever?
Mahima, is that the raw material cost angle that crude derivative?
As compared to where Q2 FY25 was, raw material pricing, so crude pricing especially is a big factor where margins had taken a hit. And this is the normative range between that 17 to 18% where they were earlier, and it has come to that normative range.
Before we delve a little deeper into these numbers, and I would encourage you to look at the numbers as we speak. But before we do, Shivangi, on the charts, it's up about 2.6% right now, 2.7% rising. Would you suggest a buy at these levels?
Very good afternoon. Thank you for having me. So we've seen that, of course, there's a lot of frenzy right now, and we've seen Asian Paints, see a move because of the crude oil price movement as well. And from the last 4 trading sessions, we've seen excellent amount of long built up here. So open interest activity has also risen. The stock is at its 52-week high, and we've seen that, these levels were retested November last year, where it couldn't sustain above these zones, after which it tried to surpass the hurdle zones thrice, but, it failed to do so. Of course, in the last 2 weeks, we've seen that IVs have also sort of cooled off, and the consolidation and the breakout, which has been seen in the last 2 weeks on the daily frame, is quite positive. So we're expecting this momentum to continue. Of course, we could look for minor dips to add in. But we're expecting 2850 as the next level for Asian Paints, with a support of 2700 levels.
What we're seeing is a drop in the raw material cost. My calculation suggests 11%. Maybe I've gotten it wrong.
Yeah, so it's around that 8% mark, the cost of raw materials.
So it's a drop at a time when you've seen a pretty substantial, healthy revenue growth. Nirav, I'll come to you on the fundamentals then. If you've gotten a chance to just listen to the snapshot of Asian Paints, margins at 18% compared with consensus estimates that had pegged it at 16.4%. So considerably better than expected, 4.2% higher now in trade, now making a strong case for stock of the day. What's your initial take on the numbers?
Well, I think very strong set of numbers from Asian Paints, especially considering the fact that this is lean season. There's a seasonal softness in Q2, and the product mix tends to change with every quarter. And typically we have in Q2, there is more focus on products like construction chemicals. There is a focus on products like waterproofing segment, etc., where you don't need to spend too much on the marketing side also, because these are essential nature of products. So I think that could have also boosted the margins. And typically this is a quarter where the decorative paints or the interior exterior paints, generally the demand tends to be on the muted side. So I think the low value economy products where you don't have to incur a lot of expenditure on marketing
Right.
could have also aided the margins.
Right. I think